Hello, I'm Andrew Power, and with Kate Finning we work together on competitions, houses, and teach a studio at MSD, which is focused on the plan. Many of the architects that we admire don't only do nice buildings, but sometimes have nice plans for cities, utopian visions. Architects like Hilberseimer or Frank Lloyd Wright's Broadacre City, or more recently Florian Biegel's Semangium or Dogma's New Administrative Centre, both projects in Korea. But for many of us today, the internet has many of the features that we find interesting in cities, bringing people together in new and unexpected ways. So for this summer school studio, we're going to study the internet like it was a city. Or perhaps a better way to put it is we're going to study the internet like it was an archipelago of different city-states.
The language of expression of new technologies relies on existing cultural forms, from the dentils and tree cliffs of classical stone construction that was based on the previous timber construction, to the recycle bin where we drag our unwanted files. New technologies rely on previous familiar forms for their expression. The use of material metaphors in this way is known as a skeuomorph, and skeuomorphs dominate our interface with the online world. But these platforms mutate and evolve to a point where they no longer resemble their original metaphor.
And so what we're planning to do this semester is to study a handful of existing networks, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, etc., and try and draw what is happening at a structural level. We don't need to understand the code, but what we're interested in is the organizing principles, similar to an architectural plan. We're going to be also looking at these subjects through and trying to form analogies drawn from the real world for what these networks do. Pinterest was perhaps conceived of as a scrapbook, but now it's become something much more complex. We'll then use these principles and these analogies which we form at the beginning of the studio to then propose a speculative network of our own.
From this, we will make our own analog analogies, a reverse-engineered artifact born from the principles of these online networks. It will be a proposal for a future network, one that is new and yet strangely familiar. Our artifacts will exist as a digital mapped onto the physical, reverse engineering the process of these original skeuomorphs. While traditionally we use the material to navigate the virtual, for us, the virtual will be mapped onto the material.